Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Welcome to our Sixers versus Knicks post-game show. The Sixers took down the Knicks 109-89. And no, the Sixers actually did beat the Knicks on the road. I know, the Sixers fans are like, wait, what, a road win? It is true. The Sixers moved to 2-0. And joining us today is my man, Justin. Follow him on Twitter at J_Persichetti. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's everybody doing? It's so nice to watch a game that you don't have to hold your breath on when they're on the road. 1-0 on the road, 1-0 at home. Let's keep that same percentage going. I like it. But yeah, I enjoyed watching the game. My heart didn't have to skip a few beats, so it was nice.
Yes, very, very. Sixers almost seem to be in cruise control, especially in that second half. Also joining us today is my man Coyle at Ruzzer24. What's going on, man?
Oh, it's good. 72-0. It's happening.
And then we got my man Tiago at Tuscabia. Tiago, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm going to go with 71-1. I think 72-0 is a little bit ambitious. Nah, it never really looked hairy. And that's exciting to see a team play like that on the road after what we saw in 2020. So this is a good win. Good win.
All right, let's lead this off, Tiago. What was one of your main takes from this game?
I mean, there's a lot there to digest. I thought that in that second half, in particular, I thought the starters were really, really poised. They look very good. I mean, you look at the box score, only 12 turnovers. I thought that the team overall played with a lot of poise. Again, taking consideration, it's only been 2 games into Doc's offense, and it still looks very clunky at times. But you see a couple of things. You already started seeing the turnovers go down. You're seeing the three-point attempts go up, which is also important. And you saw Tobias actually look like a functional human being tonight. And I thought that between him, making quicker decisions, taking open shots, and attacking, slower guys off the drive, it was a pleasant surprise overall.
Cool. Main takeaway.
There's 2 players that I thought were just out of your mind when you look at their stat lines. I guarantee you the people that were in chats earlier tonight and that are on Twitter are going to think one line is this, which is well, I'll get into that a little bit later, but we'll talk about a stat line and you tell me which one is which. And they think one should be traded and one should should be starting over Joel. So
Oh my God, yeah. All right, just so everyone knows, we were doing a watch party versus the Sixers and Knicks, and this live stream was kind of stormed by some people that thought Dwight should be starting over Joel Embiid.
Oh, no.
Embiid out of shape, and really, really targeting Ben Simmons because he didn't really impact the game offensively. But no one ever. We talked about this a lot. That that was the most Ben Simmons stat line of all time. That's like a typical Ben where you could be sure that you go on Sixers Twitter and he is getting killed. Yeah. Period. All right, Justin, what was your take?
My biggest takeaway was the turnovers being reduced a little bit, and also the 3-point percentage. We shot almost, I think it was like 28% from 3 last game, and I think this game, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we shot
35.
almost 36%. Yeah, and obviously that's a big point raise. I think that's going to help this team in general if you're shooting better from 3, and I think you're going to see that as the season goes along. One of my other big takeaways is Seth Curry. Seth Curry last game had 13 points, went 1 for 5 from 3, still was clutch in those moments at the end of the game. Seth Curry, 17 points today. I believe he was 6 for 8 from the field. I think it was 3 for 4 from 3 today. So that's a big difference right there, and that just shows you what this team gets in Seth Curry. Seth Curry is, for that Josh Richardson trade, such a good move for the Sixers. Such a good piece along Ben Simmons and along Joel Embiid, and I'm so excited to see what he does throughout the season. But yeah, that's my big takeaway is Seth Curry and the 3-point percentage of this team.
I'm going to piggyback off the Seth Curry, and my main takeaway is the starting lineup. 82 points in this game from the starting lineup. We talked about game 1, how the second unit was really the spark plug for this team in game 1 that kind of carried them, kept them in this game. The first team looked sluggish. They were sloppy, as expected if you were watching these pods. But look at this game. Holy crap. 82 points from the starting lineup, 27 points from the bench, led by Dwight Howard, who would look terrific in this game. But I'm going to piggyback off of what my man Justin said, and that is Seth Curry, 17 points, 3 of 4 from three-point range, plus 23. That is exactly what you want to see from Seth Curry in that role. Thiago, what is your player of the game?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys to pick from. I'm gonna go with it's a difficult thing to ask, but there's so many different things happening. But for me, I thought that again, like Dwight Howard, he may not be the player of the game, but like the second unit looked a little clunkier this time around. Like Korkmaz wasn't hitting shots, Mike Scott wasn't hitting shots. Shake took a little bit off tonight. And I thought that just Dwight Howard's energy, like on the glass, is just unbelievable. Like he's on every single rebound. And he either, brings down the offensive glass or he makes that defensive rebound seem impossible. So I just thought that his energy really kept the Sixers engaged throughout those second units. And in the second half, when they went to Thibault over Maxey, like you really saw them struggle to create. And again, it was like Dwight Howard just, catching lobs and, catching rebounds and kind of running transition. So I thought that, again, for the fact that the Sixers are paying this guy like $1 million, it's pretty remarkable. It's unbelievable what they're getting out of Dwight Howard. So, I was very surprised by him.
Yeah, I said you talk about a team that has a history of like terrible contracts, Tobias, Al Horford. And then we get to Shake, Furkan, and this guy, Dwight Howard. It's such a stark contrast.
Right.
Quill, player of the game.
It's Dwight Howard. You see what he gives to this team. Exactly what Thiago was saying. It literally is the straight up energy, the running around, the hustle, the everything. I mean, you look at his stat line and it's not like the greatest. We're looking at 9 points, a -1, 6 rebounds on 15 minutes. And when you look at that, you're not like, not blown away, but you're not seeing the defensive things that he's doing, the boards that he's creating, not necessarily getting, but taking a body out of the way for someone else to get a rebound. Like those different things that you're seeing, which are helping this team and the energy that it brings. And even when you see him like on the bench, you're seeing him like a cheerleader. Like they scan over to the bench and he's the first one standing up doing different things. So it's just the energy and everything, just like Thiago was saying, it's just, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving him.
Steven says, good early adjust on stopping Randall after early damage. He had like 9 points or something in like 3 minutes, something crazy.
Mm-hmm. He had at one point in the game, he had 90% of the Knicks points.
Yeah. Ben's consistent defense on
RJ.
We
got to talk about that.
We're going to talk about that. My take by Mark says Sixers balanced team with balanced scoring. Justin, what was your player of the game?
My player of the game, I'm going to give it to Seth Curry. I know I've been talking him up, but like honestly, 17 points, 6 for 8 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. He had no turnovers, no fouls. I think also what's underrated is not just the impact on his 3-point shots, but also he played pretty good defense today. He played pretty hard defense that you saw. He got 1 steal, and he was around the ball, poking the ball all game that I saw him on the court. He had some deep threes. He is going to be a big difference maker on this team, and I said it already, but that trade of getting Josh Richardson out of here and having him come in, as much as we love Josh Richardson personality and we love his defense, having that guy next to Joel and Ben just makes such a big difference for this team.
Yep. All right. We can talk about Joel Embiid's 27 points, 10 boards, 10 of 20 from the floor in 31 minutes. But I think what we need to talk about is Ben Simmons. This is one of the most Ben Simmons stat lines it's a typical Ben Simmons stat line of his career. He had 15 points in 33 minutes. He had 9 boards and 6 assists. He was a plus 22. However, people still expect more from him offensively. But what did this guy do on defense? Thiago, what was your take on Ben Simmons today?
Yeah, I have a Ben Simmons rule when I watch him play. I do not look at the scoreboard. I do not look at the box score when I watch Ben Simmons play, because everything with Ben Simmons, you see it with your eyes. And the moment you start looking at the box score, that's when things start going a little bit, haywire. And I mean, all you need to know is watch what RJ Barrett did against Victor Oladipo against Indiana. Like, he abused Oladipo in that game. And Ben Simmons came in and he said, none of this tonight. There was absolutely none of it from the start. And towards the end of the game, you really saw him like take RJ Barrett's will. I mean, that was a dunk towards the end of the game where he just like blew right by him and it was like game over. So I thought Ben Simmons' defense tonight was phenomenal. And I think that everything that the Sixers want to get done this year, it starts with Ben Simmons and Embiid on the defensive end. And again, those two guys showed out big time tonight.
RJ Barrett was held to 2 of 15 shooting, minus 16, 10 points, 0 for 6 from 3. Wow. Coyle, what was your take on Ben?
This is the stat line that I wanted to compare the two different types of player of why we have people comparing players in a certain way, right? So I talked about my player of the game, which was Dwight Howard and his stat line. And then we look at Ben Simmons, which is 15 points with a plus 22. We have 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, blocks. It doesn't show how impactful he is in the game.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Him being able to take in their basic number one scorer out of the game, it is absolutely remarkable that people are still saying to this day, we need to trade for James Harden. Like, yeah. It blows my mind. But then those same people will also say, why isn't Dwight Howard starting over Joel Embiid? Like,
like who's going to defend Kevin Durant?
Exactly. I mean, we watched yesterday. We watched what that guy did to Boston. I mean, the Celtics. KD said, "You know what? I'm going to take this game over," and Boston had like no answers.
Nothing.
Zero. Zero.
Absolutely nothing. And that's what is so important about why we need to keep Ben Simmons forever.
And with that, listen, we're not sitting here telling you guys that Ben Simmons is the answer to defending Kevin Durant. No one is shutting down Kevin Durant. It's not happening. But what we're saying is he gives us the best chance. He gives you the best chance going against Brooklyn in a playoff series. In a 7-game series, you're already going to have a handful going up against Kyrie and Kevin Durant. He gives you a shot. And also trading away Ben Simmons or even just trading for James Harden, it really, really hurts your depth. And this team, and we talked about this last game, we talked about this game, this team seems like it's going to be really based out of their bench depth. It really does. When that offense on the starting group is struggling a little bit, when you have Shake, when you have Tyrese Maxey, when you have Furkan coming off the bench scoring, any of them can have a big game, and any of those guys. I would say probably if you're trading for James Harden, 2 of those guys are gone. And
just one more point on that. Like, I understand James Harden is probably one of the greatest shot makers over a lifetime, but there's no evidence that he's ever worked with a post center in Joel Embiid. You know, his centers have been like floor spacers and like rim runners. So is Harden going to come in here and accept a guy in his way demanding the ball in the post? You know, that's a question that, you know, people want to ask before they're ready to ship Ben Simmons out. Because one of the things Ben Simmons is he's very aware of when and how to get Joel Embiid the ball. And he makes Embiid's life much easier than a regular point guard. So it's something else to think about as well.
And can we think about this too? What are your guys' opinions on do you guys really think that a Ben Simmons, James Harden, Joel Embiid lineup is a good lineup? Like, personally, I don't think Ben Simmons thrives on a team where you have James Harden and Joel Embiid on a team with him. Like, and obviously defensively, you want a guy like Ben Simmons on your team. But if that's the case, does Ben Simmons become anything on the offensive end when you have James Harden and Joel on that team?
I think it becomes more of a center, because he's not going to shoot from the outside where Joel will. So he becomes more of the centerpiece where he's going to be doing the attacking. He's going to be the one that's getting that ball down on a lower spot. But even with that, what Tiago's saying is, like, I don't know if that works with Joel.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I think if you go to the Harden, Ben, and Embiid, you're kind of looking at what you had with Butler, except that Harden is a much better shot maker than Butler is. But again, to answer your question, like, at that point, Ben is the guy standing in a dunker spot, just waiting for your offensive rebound. And that's not optimizing Ben's offensive skill set for sure.
Or Dr. offense.
Right.
Yeah, and with that, there's been reports that Ben did not like having that role with Jimmy there. He didn't like having the ball out of his hands in moments like that. So would Ben want to be in a situation like that? You know what I mean?
Well,
So
that's what I like. I call them dirty points. Those are your guys who are your dirty points, but you're not paying those guys max contracts to go get dirty points. You know,
Exactly.
those are your we have right now is the Dwight Howards that are getting $1 million of getting, let me go get a board and get me my dirty points.
Exactly.
And you have to have an attitude to be able to one, accept that role, and then have the attitude to know I'm throwing my body around, getting beat up, getting whatever I can to get whatever I can.
Yeah, the Ben Simmons you saw tonight is not happening with Harden. That guy was like attacking downhill with space. Like that's just not going to happen if Harden's here. It's just not going to happen.
And that's what I loved seeing tonight too. And I think we're going to see even more and more of that as time goes on, and as you start to see these players develop into what their actual roles are, and at what you're going to see, where you have Ben attacking, which are opening up these different corners and opening up these different things. And I can't wait to watch this team. Like I cannot wait for tomorrow to the Eagles to be over so I can watch the Sixers. Like,
and guys,
don't understand how has this happened.
That might be the comment of the night. Right
Chris is like, he just wants the season to end.
And guys, let's remember this too. Enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
Don't keep thinking about what team could be, what could the trades be. Enjoy the moment of being good, guys.
Yeah.
We are 2-0 in the season. We are 1-0 on the road, 1-0 at home. I like that percentage, like I said before. Let's keep this going. Let's keep the train going. Be excited about it. Let's have fun this year.
Yeah.
JR says, "Love you, fellas. Great stuff." Dunder Dude says, "Harden's going to want to be the bully of the team, and that is Joel's job." I'm very nervous about Joel getting swallowed by James Harden's just persona. Like that is a major issue. Harden's about entertainment. Simmons about basketball IQ.
I like that.
Ben Butler.
I will say I kind of disagree with that. I think Harden has pretty damn good IQ. I'm going to be honest.
All right. Dunder Dude says Harden can score and he can win, but it's not about winning and being a beast. We can have a beast in Joel and one in Simmons too. And Ben drives dish. Harris pass to open shooter. All right. Anyway, let's get into final thoughts, and then we'll get into how you grade today's performance. No, let's do player.
Can I ask a question though?
Go ahead.
Does anybody want more than this year's contract with Harden? If we end up trading at trade deadline, do you want an extended, or do you just want this year and see how it works?
With Harden?
Yeah.
Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, his player option is 40 something. So he may actually pick up that player option based on what the COVID situation is with the salary cap. So you may actually have him for 2 years before you have to extend them. So, but you're asking me, would I extend them beyond those 2 years?
Correct. Like, do you keep him for knowing you're trading, you're getting them from 1 year this year plus possibly next year. Do you want an extension with anything that you're giving up?
I mean, if you're giving up Ben Simmons, that has to come with. Yeah, I mean, at that point you have to. I mean, I don't know how you don't.
I'm going to be honest. I think no matter what, you're giving up enough young assets that I think you need to be getting an extension on that, because no matter what, you're giving up at least Shake Milton or Tyrese Maxey, and those are both good young contracts.
Right. To be honest with you, I honestly don't think you are. It's seeing how what's going on in down there with him not wanting to be there, and you're looking at this COVID stuff, and he becomes as much as a nuisance that he is becoming. You're looking at his trade value becoming less and less. And as this year goes on, less and less and less is what you're getting from, because you're only getting, like you said, the 1 year, possibly but that's his option. It's not a guarantee. So my thing with him is I don't want him long-term because I don't know what we're getting. I don't know if it's going to fit. I don't know if it's going to work. But I'm also not giving up Ben Simmons, and I'm not giving up a lot of things for it. So
all right, let's get into how you grade the Sixers' performance tonight. The Sixers won by 20. I'm going to give them an A-. You were talking about a starting lineup that had 5 turnovers. overall in this game. When's the last time that happened between Ben and Joel and the turnover machines they were last year? A-. What about you, Justin?
Justin is
Justin just turned off. Thiago, how would you grade the Sixers' performance?
He's just like, does he know he's in a podcast right now?
I don't know.
Hello, Justin.
He was doing hand motions earlier, so I don't know if you can hear it or not. He was right.
That's awesome. Thiago, how would you grade the Sixers' performance tonight?
I have to go A-. How many times we see last year this team just played down to the level of competition.
Yes.
And there was none of that tonight. And I thought that like that third quarter run when they look really good and Doc kept Embiid, Toby, and Ben through 3 minutes left in the third quarter. That was Doc's way of saying like we're not going to put up any nonsense tonight. We're going to get this W and go home and go to Cleveland. So I think that was a key moment of the game that showed that the team was really engaged. So for that, they get an A-. What
about you, Coyle?
I give him a B+. Just because I want to see a little bit more from him. I'm even though it's the beginning of the season, I'm expecting more. And it has a lot to do with the missed open shots. And I think that's really my takeaway is we need to hit open looks because there was so many open looks tonight. That were missed, and we shot 35%. And I'm sorry if you're in the NBA and you're getting literally a gym shot where you're practicing, you should be hitting that 100% of the time, maybe 99.9% of the time. But
I will say this: like Joel Embiid's shot looks better than it's ever looked, and I think the hand was an issue last year. And I mean, it looks phenomenal from mid range, from distance, and that's going to be a huge weapon for the Sixers this year.
The major concern I had from this game was the fact that you were getting out-rebounded by the New York Knicks. You saw the Knicks got out-rebounded by 20 against the Indiana Pacers. They were pretty much being out-rebounded all game until late, but they also they lost to offensive rebounding to the Knicks 13-12. Is that reason to be concerned, Thiago? Like the Sixers are set up. They should have been destroying the Knicks in the paint.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if we go back and look at the tape, it probably looks as a lot of guards not helping to rebound. Guys like Seth Curry are smaller guys; they're not as engaged in the glass than some of the bigger guys the Sixers have had in the past. You have to go back and look at the tape. I mean, New York is a young, energetic team. They're gonna try really hard on the glass. I would expect the Sixers to be more engaged against better teams. So that's something to keep an eye out for sure. I mean, that's definitely a lot of offensive rebounds to give up.
Does that break down first half, second half?
They were definitely down. They were definitely losing in the rebounding.
They
were definitely losing. I honestly would really like to see the first half, second half breakdown because exactly what Thiago was saying. Like that team having young legs was all over the court the first half. Like you just saw them run, and I honestly. Like you said, injuries and all that, they're not going to be able to do that for 72 games.
Yeah, and I look at the box score. So I'm looking at like Kevin Knox, 3 offensive rebounds. That tells me a guy who just like crashing from the wing and your guard just staying there looking at the ball. So that may be a coaching point for the future games.
Right. Justin, can you hear us? No, he's out right now. He's out. He's out. All right.
After that Harden take, the Harden gods were like, that's it. Cut his audio.
All right. Another main takeaway from this game, and then we'll go into final thoughts, was Matisse Thybulle getting minutes over Tyrese Maxey. We have some comments in here. Steven says, I was thinking more about Thybulle than was Maxey. We can't wear out Maxey every game. He's probably going to see good time against the Cavs anyway. Thiago, what was your take on Thybulle over Maxey? Was that a good move?
Was that a good move? I don't think it was. Listen,
I hear you guys now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened just there.
So I think it's Doc's way of saying, like, we're going to keep the young kid engaged and not lose him early in the year. I respect that. But when you have Maxey, when you have Mike Scott, when you have freaking Korkmaz on the court, you really need another ball handler. And you're not getting that from those 3 guys. So You really saw the difference when Maxey was out there with Shake instead of Thibault. The lineup just looked more fluid, looked quicker. So, I thought that run with Thibault and that bench unit wasn't a really good offensive run. Defensively, he's going to do the same stuff. Right? He's going to poke the ball, create steals, create havoc, but he's got a long way to go offensively, man. Like the ball, he's hesitant to shoot. He doesn't dribble. It's a little bit messy right now.
All right, Justin, how would you grade this Sixers performance, man?
Ultimately, I think it's in the B range somewhere. I think the offense did struggle a decent amount this game. It just looks sloppy at times. Defensively, I think we were still played pretty well this game. Like we've been saying, that's to be expected. I think that's how they're going to be winning games a lot of times for the beginning of the season as this offense slowly matures and people start to learn their roles even more. So yeah, I'm ultimately I think it's in the B range. I'm excited to see what it turns into as it goes on, though.
Love it. All right, let's roll into final thoughts. Coyle, you're up.
I already said it earlier. They're 72-0. That's my final thought.
There it is.
Exclamation point.
Let's watch tonight. Maybe I want to see perhaps Embiid get a night off, and let's see what this team looks like. Can they win with like Dwight, at center, maybe a little Tony Bradley, maybe some Ben at the 5. Keep an eye out for tonight.
Did you mention Tony Bradley?
Tony Bradley. We do not mention Tony Bradley on this podcast.
Bradley's
Rob's not here today.
Bradley's voice.
Don't tell Rob.
Rob's not here today. You can't talk about Bradley.
That's awesome. Justin, final takes.
Final thoughts. I'm excited. Honestly, and this I get scared when I get excited about Philly sports, if I'm honest with you, because when you get excited, a lot of times you get disappointed.
That's true.
So I'm excited, and that scares me. But I'm optimistic that this time I won't be disappointed by that excitement. So I think that Sixers fans should be excited, but be patient as well. Be excited but patient with what this team brings because it is a new coach, it is a new offensive system, it is a complete new roster. Be patient but be excited for this team and keep coming back to the live stream because we are here.
My final thoughts was like our stream today, Thiago, got flooded by like, well, where are they against the Nets? Where are they against the Celtics? Where are they against the Bucks? I'm like, can we just stop and then just like actually watch the Sixers grow in the pick and roll, the two-man game between Joel and Seth? Can we just stop? Watch the second unit grow between Seth, Shake, Tyrese, and Dwight. Can we just watch and just see where the pieces fit? Because I fully agree. I think this team is actually built for success when the playoffs start. It's just going to take time. All this Harden talk, all this Nets overreaction. I'm just like, pump the brakes, guys. Just pump the brakes. Let's enjoy it. The Sixers are 2-0. They just won a road game. What the hell? And let's literally like enjoy that. You're seeing Ben Simmons dominate on both ends. You're seeing Joel just be Joel, and you're seeing a second unit, a bench that the Sixers haven't had in a very long time. So that's my final take. Let's finish with plugs. Coyle, you're up.
I don't have anything to plug. What? Come hang out tomorrow and watch the Eagles. I'll be in the chat yelling at everybody.
Thiago.
Eagles are gonna win. They're gonna make the playoffs, man. How much?
Oh, please no!
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You're killing me, man.
I wrote 300 words on why I think RJ Barrett is a good basketball player, and that was before he played Ben Simmons. So I'm gonna have
Do you have to throw that out now? That's
I'm gonna have to do a lot of revision before I publish that.
You realize he was like 1 for 14 last time I checked.
Man, he looks so good against Indiana, and obviously, Indiana.
Well, apparently he can't handle 6'10". He can handle 6'4", can't handle 6'10".
Yeah, it was ugly. So I'm gonna have to revise that, but keep an eye on. And I also wrote about Shake, so keep an eye out for that.
Awesome. What about you, Justin?
Plugs. You can go follow my Twitter at j_Persichetti. Go follow the Painted Lions on Twitter. I post on there at times. I would like to know in the comments if people can. How would you guys feel about me hosting the Sixers live stream tomorrow for the game? Let us know in the comments quick if you'd come and watch me instead of Dibes, because I know Dibes is killing it hosting me. So let me know if you want to see that. Yeah.
Awesome. I love this comment. So yeah, we're still in kind of decisive mode about what's the plan is, because I don't know if I can do Eagles and Sixers. That's like literally 8 hours straight. That's crazy, man. I do have a wife.
And the first 4 hours was torture.
And I do have a 16-year-old daughter. I think my wife would kill me if I did that.
Oh my God.
I like this comment by Steven. Let's get Nolan Patrick back in the mix. Hells yeah. Let's go. He's back on January.
Is he even good? Is he good?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We know migraines.
All right.
All right. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who commented, watched, liked, and subscribed. The comments were flowing tonight. It was just awesome. We will be back about 3:30 tomorrow for the Eagles watch party. It's going to be a blast. They take on the Cockroaches. Jalen Hurts is just going to continue to thrive, I guess. Maybe we'll see.
He's gonna win me my my league. So
Is he?
Oh, you
Yo,
picked
that's
him up?
actually
You picked him
I
up?
didn't have anything else. So
Oh man.
Yo, that's hilarious because one of my buddies has him as his quarterback in the championship week of his fantasy football league. Yep, you too.
that's me.
Oh man,
Yep.
that's great.
I've been riding Jared Goff, and I can't trust him. He's been terrible.
Yeah.
My man Marquis says, I'd rather do Sixers. The Eagles season is over.
All
We're
right.
committed. We're committed here, Marquis. We got to finish what we started. We've been doing these watch parties for a while. So I guarantee you, though, if you watch, you will feel much better Monday morning. Not as good.
It is.
You won't feel great, but I
It is
promise
a lifesaver.
you'll have fun. That's what I'm saying. It's a therapy session.
It
So,
is a true therapy love of hatred, and there's yelling and swearing, and sometimes there's kids come and they hang out and they bring up boys, and then you actually feel good about it. Like, I can't tell you enough how enjoyable it is to like suffer with people. It is so good. It is so good.
That's what these are. That's the point of being a Philly sports fan. It's like when you hang out with us, it's like going to a bar and just talking with random people about the game. You can't do that anymore, but you can do that here, and that's what I'm talking about. So thank you everybody for watching. For Coyle, for Tiago, for Justin, for myself. Thank you guys for watching. Stay awesome.
Stay solid, baby.